Welcome to the Marc Gafni interviews, Breaking the Silence and Restoring Integrity, Notes on Evolving Love in Public Culture. Hi, I'm Lisa Ingalls, and as a board member for the Center for Integral Wisdom, I've stepped forward to support Marc in revealing the truth about the stories that have been circulating around the web for over a decade through this series of video interviews. The time has come to expose the perpetrators who've been disguising themselves as protectors, not only for Marc's sake, but for the sake of evolving our culture, evolving the way we handle conflict, evolving the way we step into leadership and to take a stand for evolving the very source code and narrative of love itself. In this light, I believe that you'll find this library of interviews on the surface a telling of one man's story, but on a much deeper level, a profound body of teachings on the cultural, social, and psychological aspects of smear campaigns.
Let's talk about sexual McCarthyism. It's an incredibly important idea. What is McCarthyism? Joe McCarthy is a senator in the mid-50s who's fighting communism. In the mid-50s, we all recognized that communism was actually a significant threat. Right? The Cold War was a real thing, and it was important that we were engaged in fighting communism. Communism is a force that was responsible for more death than virtually any other force in history. Talk about Stalin, right? Talk about Mao in China, right? And talk about the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia. And enormous tragedies, right, were wrought upon humanity, right? Tens and tens and tens of millions of people were killed, right? We were standing for, again, the American way, and that's a good thing, right? Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent, right? The way of life we've built here, this evolution of consciousness called democracy, really matters. So McCarthy is standing against communism, and everyone believes in that value. But McCarthyism is, that's the word in culture, when McCarthy uses the natural anathema to communism, right, to attack people for all sorts of ulterior and base motives. That's McCarthyism. What's sexual McCarthyism? We actually draft our natural anathema, our natural correct and visceral opposition to any form, right, of sexual harassment, for example, and we use it, right, to falsely accuse. That's sexual McCarthyism, right? Meaning we use our united opposition to all forms of sexual harassment and sexual abuse, but we use that opposition to actually attack persons, right, for reasons that have nothing to do with the sexual issues at stake. I'll just give you one example, right? Virtually all of the Republicans involved in moving to take Bill Clinton down over the Monica Lewinsky issue, virtually all, right, at least 7 distinct Republicans involved in that story, themselves had been involved with interns, were having extramarital affairs. That is to say, we're doing precisely what, right, Clinton was accused of. And Laura Kipnis, professor at Northwestern University, in her book, A Female Thing, Chapter 4, points this out, right, and annotates it. So that's called sexual McCarthyism. And the issue wasn't actually moral outrage at Clinton, which may well be justified, but that's not the issue. The issue is they were using sexuality, right, to make an attack, which therefore colored judgment, right, and undermined the integrity of the process. We need to stand against sexual harassment. We need to stand against, right, any violation of the feminine or the masculine, whether it's men being raped in prisons or women being raped on campus. Same. Right? Both tragic. But we can't use our opposition to sexual harassment or rape or any form of abuse as a smokescreen, right, distorting the facts, falsely accusing in order to accomplish other ends. We need to call that out, and it's becoming, right, a virtual epidemic in our culture. It's time to take a stand.